You'll soon be able to earn Canadian Tire money on your coffee and donuts. We get further clarification on the WestJet credit card changes, and Walmart revamps their Mastercards. All this and more on Rewards Canada's This Week in Rewards for September 19th, 2025. If you're looking to make the most of your loyalty rewards and credit card programs, you've come to the right place. This is your weekly dose of loyalty rewards, travel, and credit card happenings in Canada from Canada's original points and miles resource, Rewards Canada. I'm your host, Patrick, and this week we're going to flip things around and start things off with loyalty and travel news. So yeah, let's get right into this loyalty news. So the big news for this week, whether it was loyalty, credit cards, anything like that, was Canadian Tire announcing that their Triangle Rewards is going to partner with Tim Hortons' Tim Rewards. So yeah, so that's what I was mentioning. How does it sound like about earning Canadian Tire money on coffee and donuts? Starting in 2026, you'll be able to link your Triangle Rewards account with your Tim's Rewards account, and you will earn CT money on your Tim's purchases. Coffee, donuts, you name it. That's going to happen. Now, we do know that this is not a reciprocal earning partnership. There's no word about earning Tim's Rewards points at Canadian Tire. However, they are stating that there are going to be offers for Tim's Rewards members. So probably like what we see with the CT and Petro-Canada partnership, where, like right now, if you're a Petro Points member, you can get like discounts and things like that at Marks and Sport Chek. So I'm assuming we're going to see the same thing happen for Tim's Rewards members. This marks actually the fourth linked loyalty partnership that Canadian Tire has announced in the past year. It was roughly about a year ago, or just under a year ago, where they announced they want to grow the program, and they're talking with lots of other big retailers about growing the program. And so what they've done is done a lot of these linked loyalty partnerships. To date, there's only one that is live, and that's one with Petro-Canada, where you can earn CT money on your Petro-Canada fuel purchases by linking your Triangle Rewards account with your Petro Points account. This is the one that boosts my Triangle Rewards account. I'm not a big Triangle Rewards user, but I have them linked. I mean, you might as well link them if you're going to be, shopping at one of these places and spending your money. You might as well earn even more loyalty rewards if you can. The other partnerships that they've also announced are with RBC Avion Rewards. We don't have many details on that one. That's launching in 2026. And then also probably the key one for the Rewards Canada community is the partnership with WestJet Rewards. Again, that's going to launch in 2026. We don't have the complete details, but we do know there's going to be like conversion options, and you're going to be able to earn CT money on WestJet flights over and above your WestJet Rewards points earning, and vice versa. You're going to be able to earn WestJet Rewards points on your Canadian Tire purchases on top of your CT money. So that is like the only one out of the four so far that we know that is a full reciprocal earning type partnership, but that's coming again in 2026. So much like those other partnerships outside of Petro-Canada, there aren't a lot of concrete details yet. Other than we know you're going to link your accounts, you're going to earn CT money at Tim's, and Tim's Rewards members will get discounts or some sort of promotions at Canadian Tire stores or different Triangle stores. All this will be revealed in 2026. I'll go quickly into my thoughts on this. As I mentioned in my presentation at the Travel Marketplace Conference this past week here in Calgary, my guess is it's going to be no more than 1 cent per dollar at Tim's. So that's 1 Canadian Tire cent in your Canadian Tire money or dollars or whatever. At Tim's, I can't see them going more than that 1%. And I even went so far to postulate that there may be a minimum spend requirement before you do earn any Triangle Rewards CT money at Tim's, maybe $2 or even $5, like minimum purchase level. Tim's Rewards, I believe they used to do that. Somebody can clarify this and let me know in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure in the previous iteration of Tim's Rewards, you only started earning if you spent a certain dollar amount. For some reason that sticks in my head. I'm not 100% sure, so somebody can probably corroborate that if there was that, or maybe I'm just wrong and thinking of a different program. But I wouldn't put it past them to put a minimum spend requirement before you earn CT money on top of your Tim's Rewards points, on your Tim's purchases. So in addition to earning CT money on your Tim's purchases and Tim's Rewards members getting some sort of exclusive deals at Canadian Tire or other Triangle stores, they have said that Triangle Mastercard cardholders are being promised even richer opportunities to earn Canadian Tire money when shopping at Tim Hortons. So obviously there's going to be some sort of maybe accelerated earn rate on those Tim's purchases. Again, we'll just have to wait to see for that. And really that's it so far. This linked loyalty, this has been the go-to trend for loyalty programs in the 2020s. In the 2010s, it was personalized offers. Personalization is fully embedded in loyalty programs now, and this has been the new buzzword and buzz trend, if you want to call it, for loyalty programs, is linked loyalty in the 2020s. And one of the biggest adopters has been Canadian Tire, with these 4 partnerships that are in place or going to be in place in the next year or so. So they've been a really big adopter of it, but we've even seen it in other travel programs. You have your linked loyalty between Marriott and Emirates, United, Air Canada. They've all done a linked loyalty partnership between Marriott and those airlines. We've seen Accor Hotels do it with Qatar Airways, Qantas. So there's a lot of these linked loyalty in all the various types of loyalty programs. And as much as I loved the linked loyalty concept and the partnerships we see emerging from them, I feel like some programs are using this as a technique to deflect from making their own programs better or richer for their members. They're instead going with these linked partnerships. So rather than making the programs better for everyone, they're relying on these linked partnerships to provide perceived value or additional value to the program, when in fact for some members it adds no value, because if you don't use those linked partners, you're not getting any additional benefit from your program. You're still at the base level of whatever the program offers. So it's only those who choose to use the linked loyalty partnerships where they are getting perhaps that extra perceived value that is being promoted between these linked loyalty partnerships. So here's your quiz for today. There is one program that has really copped out of making their program better and instead has really relied on these linked loyalty partnerships. I've mentioned it in my videos every time they've announced a new linked loyalty partnership, or on the website I've mentioned this. I'll give you a hint, it's not Canadian Tire Triangle Rewards. So this is your quiz. Leave us a comment below with which program you think it is that I am of the opinion has copped out of making their program better and is relying on linked loyalty to provide extra perceived value in their program. And next up in loyalty rewards, we've updated the 5 best MyMcDonald's reward redemptions. All right, back in the one video in August, I'll link to it right here, we gave you the news that McDonald's Canada, MyMcDonald's Rewards, was adding more rewards and changing the amount of points required on certain reward items. Some got cheaper and some got more expensive. And the more expensive ones got a lot of us fuming in that our large fries are no longer 4,000 points. Yeah, so those changes kicked in on September 16th. And because of those changes, we had to update the 5 best redemptions from the MyMcDonald's Rewards program, because a lot of the items have changed with those new redemption rates. So the new number 1 in the program is a medium caramel or French vanilla latte. Yeah, so that's the one that takes first spot. So the lattes, they used to be 4,000 points for any size. They've dropped the mediums and smalls to 2,000 points. And with a medium flavored latte like this costing $3.79, at least $3.79 here in Northwest Calgary, you're looking at redeeming 2,000 points for that. So that is an 18.95% return. That is the best return in the program, because you're getting 0.1895 cents on the dollar, and you earn 100 points per dollar spent, so that's where you get that 18.95%. And number 2 is also replaced with some new items, and that's a medium latte or cappuccino. So these ones are also only 2,000 points, but they only run $3.39 because they don't have those extra shots of flavor that they add 40 cents for. And I'll make a note of that. This is based on pricing at one location here in Northwest Calgary. It's going to vary across Canada, so I'm just basing on that, but it should be very similar, I would think, for everybody else. So the medium latte or cappuccino works out to a 16.95% return on your spending. Number 3 is a vanilla or caramel iced coffee. So same thing as a flavored iced coffee. 2,000 points for a large one, runs $3.29 before taxes, so that's a 16.45% return, because you're also just redeeming 2,000 points for those. And number 4 is just a simple iced coffee, which doesn't have those flavored syrups added to them. 2,000 points for any size, and a large is $2.79 before taxes, so that works out to a 13.95% return. And number 5 is a hash brown. That has remained on the list. I believe it was number 4 before. You can redeem 2,000 points. Typically they cost $2.39 before taxes, so that works out to 11.95% return. And those are your top 5 MyMcDonald's Rewards redemptions. I do update this list probably twice a year, because the prices do change or new things come out. This latest update was of course because of the changes to the program, not to the pricing changes. So like we saw last year when they dropped the pricing of their coffees to a lower price. But you'll notice that the first 4 items are coffee related items. And so that tells you that they have big margins on those items. If they can lower the pricing to 2,000 points from $4,000 for the smaller size cappuccinos and lattes. That means those pricing, or what they're charging for prices, they're having big margins on that where they don't need to have people redeeming as many points. Whereas something like the large fries, which was many of ours favorites, 4,000 points for an item that cost $4.79 or something like that before taxes, is now 6,000 points. So obviously the margins weren't as good on fries, or obviously large fries was probably the most redeemed for option. So they saw that they can bump up the price for it because so many people were redeeming for it. And that's kind of, I think the same goes for like large coffees, because those are being bumped up to 4,000 points as well from 2,000. So a large coffee that may not have any additions, just black coffee, which probably costs them less than these lattes, has been bumped up in price. So I think we're seeing two things happen here. There's large margins on some of those coffee products, but the products that were being the most redeemed for, they've bumped up the pricing as well to help their bottom line. So pros and cons to the MyMcDonald's changes. And as you saw, those are your 5 best redemptions. Now, one of our readers did ask, because it's so coffee heavy, what about other redemptions? So what I'm probably gonna do is that'll be the next update to the 5 best MyMcDonald's rewards options. We'll be putting a table in there covering perhaps the first 10 or maybe all the reward options, and you can see what the rate of return will be on many of those other reward options. So I'll put that on my to-do list and add that to that article, and I'll let you guys know in a future video once that is up. All right, so that takes us into credit card news. Not a ton of news this week for credit cards. As I promised in last week's video, I was going to reach out to WestJet to get some clarifications to the questions that many of our readers had to the changes made to the WestJet Rewards Mastercards that are coming up in November, but they've already been announced. We actually covered them in last week's video, which I'll link to right here as well. So you have a couple of extra videos to watch from this video this week. So let's take a look at those questions our readers had and the answers from WestJet on them. So the first question was, when does the annual spend requirement kick in for existing cardholders who may have voucher renewals that come up before November 5th? i.e., if I get a voucher on October 29th, will it be $5,000 in spending from that day forward or from November 5th to get the next voucher? And WestJet's response was, if you're lucky enough to receive your next voucher before November 5th, then your next voucher after November 5th will also come in without a spend requirement. Everyone's next annual voucher from November 5th, 2025 to November 5th, 2026 will not require a minimum spend. So basically there's some leeway here. So you don't have to worry about that spend requirement immediately. It's only after your next voucher will the spend be tracked. So for example, someone who earns their next voucher in April 2026, that one will be deposited per normal, and then spend will be tracked after that date. So basically, if you're a person who gets your voucher in April, you'll have from April whatever date in 2026 to April 2027 to spend that $5,000 to get your next voucher. And they state that they're going to have a tracker on their system, so when you log into your account, you'll be able to see how far you're getting towards your voucher, and you'll know once you've hit, either the $2,500 for the WestJet RBC Mastercard or the $5,000 requirement for the World Elite Mastercard. So this is really good news. So some people are still going to get 2 vouchers or 1 more voucher because they might still be sitting on 1 because they just received it over the past few months. So basically there's a little bit of leeway there before you have to worry about that annual spend requirement to get any future vouchers. And the next question also refers to vouchers, and is, will existing vouchers have the new conversion options added to them, or do they remain under the old rules of being used for flights or lounge vouchers? This was a great question too, and the answer from WestJet was that all existing vouchers in cardholders' accounts will transition to the new exchange options on November 5th. So this means you're not stuck with just having a companion voucher or lounge vouchers if you have a voucher in your account already. So basically, as of November 5th, any existing or new vouchers will get all the conversion options. But of course, as of November 5th, the lounge option does drop from 4 to 2. So that means if you want those 4 lounge vouchers and you have an existing voucher right now, or it's going to be issued before November 5th, redeem quickly to get those 4 lounge vouchers, because otherwise you're going to be just stuck with 2 after that November 5th date. So mostly positive news there, because you're going to get more options for your vouchers that are already existing, unless you're one of those people which they said is less than 5% that redeem for lounge vouchers. All right, now we have a few questions on the first check bag free. So somebody asked, will I get the first check bag free if I use the WestJet card to pay for tickets through a third party, like a traditional travel agent, online travel agent, etc., or does the booking have to be made via WestJet.com or WestJet call center? And WestJet's response was, the first check bag benefit is not just restricted to direct bookings on WestJet.com or through our call center. The requirement is that the merchant being charged on the credit card has to be WestJet. That's the way they can determine, if the flight was paid for with your World Elite card. From WestJet's knowledge, many Expedia purchases actually do show up as WestJet, so they can determine that. But they do say that not all travel agents, OTAs, charge for flights billing as WestJet, and it's especially so if you're combining it with a hotel stay or a car rental. So these are just things to be aware of. So my main word of advice is book your flights with WestJet directly, WestJet.com or through their call center, and you'll know 100% for sure you'll get your first check bag free benefit. However, if you're somebody who uses a travel agency, a corporate travel agent, a travel advisor, it wouldn't hurt to call them and ask them when they book WestJet flights how they bill them out. Most traditional travel agencies should have them billed as WestJet, so you should be fine there. But all it takes is a quick phone call to your travel advisor, and they can let you know how it's billed out, and that can determine where you're going to book your WestJet flights. The next question as well was, of course, on the first check bag free benefit. Does the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard for Business keep its free check bag benefit without the requirement of paying for the flight ticket using the WestJet business card? A lot of the announcements didn't even touch upon the business card, so this was another great question from our community, and WestJet's answer was no. They wanted to keep it consistent with the consumer version of the World Elite card, so both cards, whether it's business or consumer, will require you to book flights through WestJet. However, as WestJet told us, the business version does come with the automatic Silver Elite status, which gets you your first check bag free as well, regardless of which card you use to pay. So there's a little trick to get your first check bag freeze if you still want to pay with a different card, is to get the business version of the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard. Now, you only get Silver Elite status for free for the first year you apply in and the year after, so you might have it for, pushing upwards of 24 months, but after that, you'll have to re-qualify for silver. And that card does come with the lower requirement to re-qualify for silver. But if you do not, and you drop back down to teal, beware that you will have to book your flights on the business card to get that first check bag free benefit. And since I've posted this article on the website, I've already had a couple more questions come through that I'm going to pass along to WestJet. So we might even have a further update in next week's video on these changes to the credit cards. We're just going to get clarification on anything and everything you guys require if we aren't able to answer it myself. I did see I got an email from one reader, which I am able to answer, so I'm going to respond to that right after I finish taping this video. And continuing on with credit cards, this was probably the biggest credit card news this week. Well, I think it was the only credit card news this week, is that Walmart has revamped their Walmart Rewards Mastercard. Yeah, so these cards were only revamped like 14 months ago. They were literally changed in, I think it was July 2024. And at that time, that's when they added like the 5% back on Walmart brands and things like that. Well, they've gone ahead and changed the cards again. So now the cards are just going to have a flat 3% earn rate, both versions, the base version and the world version, which is great news. So you get 3% back on Walmart purchases. They've dropped the 2% earn rate on gas, EV charging, transit, taxi, ride sharing. That goes back down to the 1%. All other purchases on the card are 1% as well. So basically, I think for most people, this is a better change because you're earning more on the card at Walmart outside of the Walmart brands like George, Great Value, things like that. So you don't have to worry about picking those specific items to earn the 5%. 2% drop is a pretty big drop on those items, but you're now earning more on everything else in the store. So you can go in there and not have to be selective about buying Walmart products. You can just go buy any products and get 3% back in Walmart rewards on those purchases. But I love our astute community because they did catch one item in the terms and conditions, in that 3% at Walmart is pre-tax. You're not going to earn any rewards on the taxes. See, all other credit cards, reward credit cards, you will earn on the taxes because they don't have that broken down. So it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for this card, but just be aware, if you're spending $100, say here in Alberta, and it comes to $105 with GST, you're only going to earn the 3% on $100, not on $105, whereas other credit cards, you would earn cash back, travel rewards, you name it, on the complete $105. The credit card, like I said, does earn 1% on all other purchases. That is after tax in the terms and conditions, because of course they don't know how that transaction is broken out because it's not at Walmart. So that makes sense. So 3% pre-tax Walmart, 1% everywhere else, including taxes. Yeah, so basically, the cards before earned 1.25%. So this is now 3%. So a lot better in that regard. The loss of the EV charging transit, I don't think it's a huge deal. I think for some people they may have used it, but this Walmart card was specific for using more at Walmart. A lot of people have cards that they use for gas, EV charging, all those things. And I think for Walmart, or Fairstone Bank, who offers the card for Walmart, they found that 2% wasn't a selling feature. People weren't getting the card for that feature, so why not take it away, because we can add more to Walmart purchases. And yeah, it drives more foot traffic into Walmart. As I said in my article, watch out Loblaw, PC Optimum, right? Because the PC Optimum cards earn 3% at their stores. So now Walmart's offering 3% at their stores as well. So very competitive in kind of that grocery space with the grocery credit cards, even though it's not just groceries with PC Optimum and it's not just groceries with Walmart, but I think you get what I mean by that. There is a very competitive move, I think, targeting PC Optimum in terms of grocery shopping though. In addition to the changes in earn rates, the Walmart Rewards cards also receive annual free delivery pass. So when you get the Walmart Rewards Mastercard, the lower level one, you get 3 months free of the Walmart delivery pass. And then if you get the World Mastercard, you get 6 months free. And that's an annual benefit. It repeats every year if you like. And that takes us into Rewards Canada's Bonus Blast. This is where we take a look at a few of the bonus offers, the more significant ones that we've added to the website over the past week. We're adding dozens of offers every week. And the first one we're going to look at is IHG One Rewards Fall and Winter or Early Winter Global System-Wide Bonus Offer. So this new offer offers up to 3 times IHG One Rewards points on all stays in Canada and worldwide at their properties. Now you might be thinking, who is IHG? Well, that's Intercontinental Hotels Group. They don't have hotels under that name. They do have Intercontinental Hotels and Resorts, but they're more famous for Holiday Inn Express, Crown Plaza, places like that. That's what they're famous for, and that is what IHG One Rewards is, the program for all those different brands. They have well over a dozen brands. So with this new offer, you'll earn 2 times points starting with your second stay. So IHG is doing this again. They're doing this on a lot of their offers now. You don't earn anything on your first stay. They start offering the bonus on the second stay. So in this case, you're going to earn 2 times points on your second stay. Your third stay during the promotion period will earn 3 times points, and all stays after that will earn 3 times points as well, up to a maximum of 70,000 bonus points. Remember, you can register and book now for stays that are completed between October 1st and December 31st, 2025. And as I mentioned in a lot of our videos, thank you in advance to anybody who books IHG stays or any hotel stays through our site. We do earn commissions on those, and that is how you help support Rewards Canada and allow us to bring you all the best loyalty and credit card content in Canada for free. And the next bonus is another buy miles, or I should actually say buy points bonus now. It's no longer miles with this program, and that is Alaska Airlines Atmos Rewards. You can receive up to a 110% bonus when you buy Atmos Rewards points via Alaska Airlines. This is a mystery bonus, so you have to log into your account to see what the offer is. I think some people are being offered as low as 80%. I've been lucky enough to be targeted to earn this 110% bonus. Now, this is the biggest bonus we've ever seen from Alaska Airlines in terms of a buy miles or buy points now bonus. Previously, they do like 60 or 70% for mileage plan. 110 is quite big. Now they have adjusted the pricing though, however. I think the past bonuses where it was 70% worked out to just over 1.8 cents per mile in US dollars, whereas this 110% bonus works out to 1.67 cents. So they have adjusted the pricing. This is still the best deal directly from Alaska Airlines. We have seen at times when Hawaiian Airlines were selling their miles at 100% bonus and their pricing was cheaper. That actually worked out to be like the best ever deal because you could convert Hawaiian miles to mileage plan miles, but that's no longer an option here anymore, as Hawaiian Airlines Hawaiian miles is being rolled into Atmos Rewards as of October 5th, I believe. So I don't think we're going to see any more buy miles bonuses from Hawaiian Airlines. It's all going to funnel through Alaska Airlines. And the last bonus we'll look at is a targeted flight offer. We're going back to WestJet Rewards here. They sent out an email to select elite members to earn 50% bonus qualifying spend on WestJet flights. If you're targeted for this offer, you need to book your flights by September 24th for travel until November 30th. And yeah, you're going to earn 50% extra qualifying spend on those flights. It appears by the way the email is worded that it's pushing people who are getting close to the next level. This could also have just been a response to Air Canada. They were offering a targeted offer for 2 times SQS and SQM as well just recently. So who knows what they're doing with it, but just be aware. Check your email if you haven't checked your inbox lately to see if you have been targeted for this elite status offer from WestJet. And that wraps up the bonus blast. Be sure to always check the Rewards Canada bonus offer section at rewardscanada.ca/bonuses.html. We are posting dozens of offers every week for flights, hotels, car rentals. And if you're going direct to the airline and hotel and booking flights, you may be leaving money on the table because you may not be aware that you could have earned double points on that flight or 1,000 bonus points on that hotel stay. There are so many offers out there. You can just go check by airline, by hotel. You can check our route bonus listing if you just want to see a summary of routes. And of course, we have our hotel bonus points map where you can see all the hotels around the world that are offering bonus points offers. A quick reminder that you will find links to all the topics covered in today's video in the description below. And if you like today's video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel if you don't do so yet, hit that notification bell so you're notified when we do post new videos, share the video with friends, family, coworkers, anybody you think can benefit from the topics we cover, and leave us a comment in the comment section below if you have a question, a concern, a clarification, or if you just wanted to say hi. We do our best to respond to everybody who does comment on our videos. And that's all she wrote for this week. Be sure to check out rewardscanada.ca on a daily basis and or our socials on a daily basis because we are covering a lot more than what we cover in this video here. And some things are very short term where they don't even make it into our Friday newsletter. But at the very least, you should be subscribing to that newsletter so you get a summary of everything we do have on the website. That comes out every Friday. It's your ticket to news, tips, features, anything to do with loyalty and credit cards in Canada. And then on Saturdays is our Rewards Canada bonus bulletin newsletter. That is a summary of all the bonus points and miles offers we've added to the website over the week. And that is your ticket to earning more miles, more points, and more rewards. Thank you everybody for tuning in this week. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.